Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. I'm going to move that up so you can see me a bit better. This video is going to be the first of a new series of videos which I'm just going to showcase my personal favourite films from a specific year, and we're going to start in 2010. I'm not going to do honourable mentions because, well, not for this specific year, because this specific year, I'll be completely honest, I struggled even finding 10. There were some gems here, there were some incredible films here, which are on the list at the top, but it was difficult compiling this list for me. As we get closer on, it will probably be easier because I've seen more. 2010 is a year where I personally had a lot of gaps. There are still a lot of films that I need to go and watch. So this is my personal list of films that I've seen and I personally really enjoy. So let's get started with number 10. And in 10th spot is Eat, Pray, Love. This is a film with Julia Roberts, and it basically centres on she was basically a career woman. No, she wasn't. She's a woman that basically didn't really have a career, didn't know what she wanted, so she decided to go around the world, and she then came back and made a book. So she went to Italy, India and Bali over the course of a year, spent some time there, and basically discovered herself. This is a true story. And it also stars James Franco, Billy Crudup and Javier Bardem. If you like travelling, if you like seeing different countries, it's a really it's a film that makes you want to travel basically. There's a lot of food in this film that looks delicious. The cinematography is beautiful. It's not an incredible film, hence it being number 10. But it's a film I really enjoy and I could go back to easily because it's very rewatchable. So yeah, but that is Eat, Pray, Love at number 10. At number 9 is Life as We Know It. This is a romantic dramedy, I suppose I would say. There are elements of drama to it, but there are more comedy elements than drama, I would say. And it's basically centered around these two characters played by Katherine Heigl and Josh Duhamel. Duhamel, however you say his last name. Sorry if I got that wrong. And they're basically they don't like each other. Basically, they're set up on a blind date by their two best friends 10 years ago, and they don't like each other, but they're made godparents to their best friend's daughter, which means that they're forced to be in each other's lives. Then something awful happens, and they've basically got look after the baby basically together and get on with each other. And yeah, it's a very funny film. You've also got small bit parts from Melissa McCarthy in it. Josh Lucas is in this as well. He plays the love interest to Katherine Heigl's character. He's a great actor, although he's not in a lot nowadays. Yeah, it's a really enjoyable film if you like these sorts of films. And yeah, I can highly recommend it. Coming in at number 8 is, I'd say all of these from now on are films I love. Those two are just at the top. So coming in at number 8 is a comedy that I absolutely love. It stars Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis, and that is Judy. This is directed by Todd Phillips, who obviously did The Hangover and now Joker. And it's basically about Robert Downey Jr.'s character, who's a first-time father. He's expecting his kid, and he's basically the due date's 5 days away, so he needs to get home. But everything goes wrong. It's a bit like, I would say, not that I've seen it, it's a bit like Planes, Trains and Automobiles. The synopsis sounds very similar to that of Planes, Trains and Automobiles. I personally have not seen that yet. It's one that I plan on trying to watch this year. but it's basically about two people that don't get on. They're stuck together, and they have to go cross country. So he can get home in time. Basically, it's basically the exact same plot. Uh, and Zach Galifianakis is hilarious as he is in the Hangover films. It is very, very funny film. Lots of laugh out loud moments. They play off of each other very well. Yeah, I can highly recommend this. You've also got Jamie Foxx in it that's got a small part. He's really funny in it. Juliette Lewis is in it as well. She's funny in it. Michelle Monaghan. It's just a really, really funny film, and I highly recommend it. And the only other straight comedy, because there is like another dramedy coming up, the only other straight comedy in my collection that I have is another one that's one of my favourite comedies, and that is The Other Guys, which is Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, directed by Adam McKay, who obviously also directed Will Ferrell in Step Brothers, which is also a very funny film. And it's basically about these two crack cops that are basically put together, and they've got to solve one of the biggest crimes of the year, and because they're very stupid, basically, it's just hilarious. It is very, very funny. You've got Michael Keaton, who plays their captain. The role fits him perfectly. You've got small parts from Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock. They're great in it. They're very funny. Steve Coogan's in it as well. He's got a small part. He's really good. Ava Mendes, who plays Will Ferrell's character's wife. That bit's very funny. It's just a very funny film. If you've not seen it, highly recommend it if you're looking for some laughs, because it is very entertaining. Coming in at number 6, I had to count them because I'd lost track, is a Martin Scorsese film, and that is Shutter Island. I know this is low on some people's Scorsese lists. I really like it. I appreciate the twist. I'm not going to go into the twist. It's basically about a US Marshal that's sent to this island, which is houses the criminally insane. It's like a hospital for the criminally insane, an asylum on an island, and he's basically got to find out this crime. Someone's been murdered or someone's gone missing. I think the plot is there's so many people and one person's gone missing, and he's got to find out what's happened to this person. It's a very good psychological thriller. As I say, the twist I enjoyed, but it is one of those films, once you know the twist, you know it, and that's it. But still very tense, very good psychological thriller, and a good Scorsese film. Coming in at number 5 is one of my favourite superhero films, and probably the first R-rated comedy superhero film that inspired Deadpool, I suppose, in a way, although Deadpool was a character before this, and that is KickAss with Aaron Taylor Johnson, Chloe Grace Moretz, Nicolas Cage, Mark Strong, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse. It's a Matthew Vaughn film, who obviously did the Kingsman films. He did Layer Cake, something else which I'm forgetting. You'll have to remind me, because I forgot what the other one he did was. He did something else. Those weren't his only ones, but it's gone out of my head. Yeah, as I say, it kind of kick-started like the R-rated superhero comedy genre. It was the first of its kind. Obviously, then a few years later we got the first Deadpool film, which has a lot of the same sort of comedy in it. Nicolas Cage is great as Big Daddy in this. You got Chloe Grace Moretz as Hit Girl, obviously Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kick-Ass, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse plays Red Mist, who is a superhero wannabe. His father is a crime lord, and yeah, it's just hilarious. It's a very funny film, very violent and very bloody. But yeah, if you've not seen it, another funny film that I can definitely recommend. Next up is one that I just really enjoy. It stars my favourite actor. It is set in the 90s, I think. It doesn't actually say, but I feel like it's set in like the 90s, early noughties. Also stars Anne Hathaway, and that is Love and Other Drugs. It's like a romantic dramedy. There is some really funny bits to it. It's basically about two people who fall in love. Um, Jake Gyllenhaal's character is a Viagra salesman. Yes, Viagra salesman. And he comes across Anne Hathaway's character at a clinic, and they instantly sort of like, well, they don't fall in love. It's they like form a no strings attached sort of relationship, um, like a very casual thing, but then they do fall in love. It's funny. You've got Josh Gad in here, who's hilarious. He plays Jake Gyllenhaal's brother. Um, Oliver Platt's in this. He plays one of the doctors. I really enjoy him. He's a great character actor. You've got Hank Azaria, who plays one of the doctors. He's really good in this. I'm trying to see who else. I think that's pretty much it. Um, but yeah, it's a very, very funny film. Very good film. And I highly recommend it. Now, the top three are not only three of my favourite films from this year. One could argue these are three of the best films of the last 20 years. Um, in different categories, I suppose you could put them in. The first is best animated film, then kind of best crime film, and then best just, I suppose, sci-fi film. But coming in at my number three is Toy Story 3, my personal favourite Toy Story film. It was a perfect ending to a trilogy. They did do the fourth one, which was also very good, and now they're doing a fifth one, which I don't agree with. It should end it at 4. It was a good ending. But this, I remember seeing at the cinema. It's just a great film. It is the best Toy Story film. It is, as I say, probably a competitor for one of the best animated films ever. It's all about family and sticking together. I just love the setting for this film. You got Michael Keaton voicing Ken, which is just excellent. Who else voice cast? Whoopi Goldberg's a voice in this, I think, as well. Doesn't actually say the voices. You've got Lotso Bear as well. I can't think who voices him. Let me know in the comments, because I can't think right now who voices him. It's just a great film. Highly recommend this film. Most people have probably seen this. But yeah, Toy Story 3 is my number 3 pick. Coming in at number 2 is one of my favourite crime thriller films ever. It's like a bank heist film. And that is The Town, which is starring and directed by... Did he write it? Yeah, starring, written and directed by Ben Affleck, and also starring John Hamm, Jeremy Renner, Blake Lively and Rebecca Hall. You've also got Pete Postlethwaite in this, Chris Cooper's in this. It's just a great cast. It's a great story. It's about a crew that are pulling off a bank heist. Ben Affleck's character basically just wants to get out of it. He doesn't want to be involved in it anymore. To him, this is the last time. So he does it, and he kidnaps one of the bank clerks, a female bank clerk, and he sees her face, but she can't see his face because she's blindfolded. And after that, separately they meet and start a relationship. John Hamm plays the FBI agent trying to track this gang down. Jeremy Renner, this is probably one of his best films. He's Ben Affleck's like partner. He's unhinged though. You got Pete Postlethwaite, who's kind of the one that's organised all of it. He's like a crime lord of sorts. Yeah, it's just an excellent film. As I say, one of the best in the genre, and a great directorial effort from Ben Affleck. So my number 2 is The Town. Now my number 1, you could probably guess what my number 1 is because it's omitted from this list. It's not been in this list so far, and I'm 99% sure this would feature on anyone's list of best films from this year. It will probably even feature on some people's lists from best film of the last 15 years. It is that good of a film, and that film in question is a Christopher Nolan film, and it is Inception. what can I say about Inception? It's my favourite Christopher Nolan film. I remember when I first seen this, and I was rather young, and it just boggled my mind. I watched it again recently, and it was just as boggling. The concept is just so unique. It's so just interesting. Obviously, it's about a dream within a dream within a dream, and they're trying to pull off a heist within this dream. Um, you've got a great cast in here as well. You've got DiCaprio, Ken Watanabe, who I think is a great actor, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Marion Cotillard, Tom Hardy, Cillian Murphy, Michael Caine. Again, think I think Pete Postlethwaite was in this one as well. I think he was. I'm pretty sure he was. Don't go by that, but I think he was in this one as well. He was in two films that came out the same year. I think it was this and The Town, because I think he passed away the following year. But yeah, it's one of the greatest science fiction films, thriller action, of the last 20 years, in my opinion. You could argue that, but it is just a great piece of cinema. I could watch this every day. It looks beautiful on 4K. The sound's great. It's just an all-around great film, which is why it is my favourite film of 2010. So that is it. That is my top 10 favourite films of 2010. They are here. Let me know what your list is in the comments section down below. I'd be interested to see the crossover and how many titles from my list are in your list, what titles you have in your list that I completely forgot about, or, you know, I don't care for. I love to see different people's opinions on film, so really do comment down below and let me know your top 10 films, because I'm very interested. But that is it. So if you like the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and turn the notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded onto the channel. This video should be coming out this coming Friday, so you should be watching this on the Friday. As I say, I'm going to try and do one every Friday, so I will do the next two next weekend now, so there's enough for the rest of the month, because I need to make the lists. I only just made my 2010 list, so it'll take some time to make a firm list for 2011 and 2012. But that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.